That's a Ram, and that's the truck. Ram Truck Trucking. Welcome. So we're doing something today. Went down to the local watering hole. We got 210 gallon water tank here that we're going to fill up, and that's going to put about 1,800 pounds in the truck. So we're going to test a few things and take some measurements here and see what it does when we put 1,800 pounds in it. So with the way this truck weighs, and sorry it's so sorry the camera's so bouncy, but with the way this truck weighs and what we're going to be doing with it, we're only going to be able to put about 15,000 pounds in it. We've got to stay under 26,000 pounds. So this here water tank that we're taking a look at is going to be about what it's like to put a heavy ass load on it. So empty, we're right about 40 inches, and let's put 200 gallons in it and see how much she squats. I did this the other day and I forgot my tape measure, and I could feel it squatted a little bit, but let's take a closer look and see what happens. Give me a second, I'll start the water pump and we'll start taking a look at it as she fills up. All right, doing the water. So I got about 600 miles on the truck. I've been super impressed with this truck so far. Very comfortable ride, very quiet cabin. Seats are wonderful. I mean, I just have no complaints. As I told you guys, I'm doing a little bit of a walk away from Chevy here and checking Ram out real good. And the goal here is we're going to find out what we like about this truck and what we don't like about this truck. And in another year or so, we're going to build one. Now, a lot has happened in the Dodge lineup with their motors, and they're only just now getting that Hurricane motor out. And there's a lot of rumors that they might do a Cummins gas motor. So unfortunately, probably won't be this powertrain on the next truck, but I still got to get a good look at Ram and see how happy I'm going to be with it. So that's what we're doing, is testing out the Rams, finding out that we're going to be happy with it before we order a truck. So we're getting close here. We got about 100 gallons in it. It's only going to take a few more, about another 30 seconds or so, get it all the way topped off. But on our little homestead, we're on cisterns right now, and when the water gets a little low, we got to haul some in. So I figured it's a perfect opportunity to see what the truck looks like after it's had all the weight put in it, and you know, just see how it rides. Basically not max load for the bed, but what would be basically max load if you were towing. So not going to be able to put much more than a 15,000 pound trailer on here, and that's going to put us right up in the ballpark where we got to worry about that 26,000 pounds. So we'll get the rest of this here water in it, another 50 gallons. This goes really fast, but another 50 gallons, and we'll take a measurement here. And then I got a few other things I want to talk to you about. Been driving this thing a little differently due to the break-in period, and we'll chat about that briefly. And I don't really have any complaints yet, but I've only put 600 miles on the truck. I've only burned 1 tank of gas. This truck comes with a 51 gallon gas tank, which I think is really freaking impressive. And at highway miles and highway mileage, I ought to be able to do about 700 miles plus before I got to get fuel. And I mean, that is just unbelievable. So about another week or so, we'll start pumping out some more regular footage. The next week, we got a few upgrades we're going to make to the truck, getting it ready to tow, getting some equipment put on it. Taking a new job up there, going to start hauling some RVs. So we got an orientation to do up there, and I'm not sure how much they'll let me put some info out. We're almost full here. Gonna get wet maybe. So let's finish this last little bit of top off and shut the water down. Alrighty. Enough of that mess. Put the cap back on it here. Alright, give me a second. I'll be right back with you. Alright. We're going to move the truck and we're going to move it over here to some pavement, and we'll take a measurement real quick. I had somebody else wanting to use the watering hole, so. All right, let's go take a look at the measurement real quick. I like how it beeps to remind you that you got your key in your pocket. So, about 1,800 pounds. That's what we're looking at. And just in case you're wondering, 2 inches. That's all she squatted. That's pretty dang good. If I'm going to be max loaded with an RV, that's impressive. If I'm only going to sag about 2 inches. So can't beat that. Now, and once again, sorry for the camera being kind of all over the place. We'll get a better setup so when we have these chats in the future, we will have much more steady camera stuff. But like I said, I'm super impressed with this truck. But let's talk about the break-in and what that's been like and what Dodge is kind of wanting you to do. And as a former Chevy addict, Chevy never had me doing anything for break-ins. No, we don't need to do anything for that. Just drive at 5,000 miles, do an oil change, you know, you're good. Well, Dodge has actually got some pretty explicit instructions, and you can find them on their website. 0 to 300 miles, they don't want you to go over 3,500 RPM. They don't want you to go over 55 miles an hour. They want you to be real nice to it. No idling. That was very explicit. No idling. All right. So then 300 to 500, you can go up to 5,000 RPM and up to 70 miles an hour. And they're okay with that. Then after 500 miles, they kind of open you up a little bit, and they tell you that they want you to 70 plus miles an hour is okay, over 5,000 RPMs is okay. And what they actually want you to do, I couldn't believe it, but they want you to put it to the floor a few times, give it maximum gasoline, and run it through all the gears, take it up to about 80 miles an hour, and then give it a break. I was surprised with that, and I did that the other day, and we'll go out special here when I ain't got no water in the back of the truck, and we'll do that once just so you can see what that's like. But I was super impressed, and man, this thing just shifted so nice going through all them gears under max workload, you know. So I was real happy with that. But once you get up to 1,500 miles, they tell you you're done with your break-in. They tell you you can start towing max, you can idle, and you can do, you know, anything you want to do with the truck at that point. And so we're not there yet, and we'll get it to 1,500 before we start towing on it. But that day is coming real soon. So next week I start gathering up some of the equipment. Some of it we're going to install. Some of it we're going to pay to have installed maybe. And we'll go through and unbox all this equipment one by one and start putting some videos out there. Most of these RV transport companies have about the same requirements So as you go through and we pick up our dash cameras and we get our driving log apps, and we'll put the hitch on here and we'll see what that's like, and we'll show you all that equipment and just give you a good idea if you're trying to get into the RV transporting industry, what you're going to need to be able to make the companies happy so you can start pulling their equipment around. So give me about another few days here and we'll start dropping some unpacking videos. I already have a bunch of things headed to the house, and I'll show you the equipment list. We'll print it out. I'll show you the equipment list of what you're going to need if you want to haul RVs, and just give you a little more breakdown on what is actually going on with that industry. A little peek. You know, not only are we looking at the Dodge Ram and giving it a good test, but we're seeing what the RV transporting industry is like. I've been escorting oversized loads for about 12 years now, and that industry's been changing a lot over the last couple of years. And it's basically, if you're where I was doing wind energy. If you're in the wind energy division, it's basically turning into a part-time job, and that's not what I signed up for. So we're going to something that is supposed to be able to be a little more full-time, and has somewhat the industry has stabilized since COVID. So in the escorting industry, when you're doing all them big windmills and stuff like that, they're about a year and a half out on their contracts. So when COVID hit, we didn't have any kind of delays or slowdowns or anything. It took a year and a half to 2 years for it to hit the industry. And a lot of other industries went through their slowdown and are starting to come out of it at this point, but the escorting and the wind energy has taken a pretty significant hit in just the last 2 years. So it was time to make a change. I'm sad to see the escorting go. Loved it. Had 100 people over the years come up to me and tell me I was the best, and it's a shame. I really enjoyed the job. Got to do a lot of really cool, fun things. You take some of the biggest things moving around in the country and you drag them all over the place. You need police in a lot of areas, and so police escorts and just super loads and all that kind of stuff it was so much fun to me. But I need more than a part-time job. I can't work all summer just to get out of the hole of being laid off all winter, to then only prep to be able to try to get through the next set of downtime. It's just treading water, not getting anywhere. And when you spend a bunch of time out on the road and you're away from your family, the whole point of it is that you're doing things for the family. The money's bigger because you're out on the road, and they pay more for a lot of that stuff. But if you're on and off like that, constantly fixing the hole from last winter, you're not covering any ground. And so, the last couple of years, things have been real slow, improvement-wise around the homestead, and that's just that's not cohesive to our plan. So you're going to get a really good look at what it's like to set up a truck for RV transport, and what it's like to what the first couple of weeks are like when you take on that job, and how the companies where they're going to give you work to and all that. So hang on for that, and I swear more videos coming much more frequently here over the next week, and then we'll start doing every day. All right, every single day we'll give you an update on where this truck is, what it's doing, how it feels, how it's handling the job, and what it's like to have a Ram truck, because that's what it's about here on Ram Truck Trucking, RTT. Hey, do me a favor, pass it around, share it, give me a subscribe if you're interested in following this trip. It'll help the algorithms get the info out there here a little bit faster. But so welcome to RTT, Ram Truck Trucking. Let's see what this Ram can do.